live from the J.C. Newman Cigar Studio in Boston, Massachusetts. Welcome to the Smokin Tabacco Show with your hosts, Matt Tobacco and Smokin Nicole.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Smokin Tabacco Show. My name is Matt Tobacco from SmokinTabacco.com, and I am excited. We have a new year. This is the first show of the new year. Always a good one. Starting off the year right. A lot of energy. Nicole's not with me here tonight because, first of all, as many of you now know, she can't smoke and probably shouldn't be around the smoking. Because we have a little one on the way. So she is not with me in studio, but and we still haven't got our temporary secondary studio set up yet. So we're just gonna not. But anyway, I do have amazing, maybe multiple guests here. Yeah, they're both here. So very excited to bring them on. They're going to be the first guests of the new year. Some of my favorite people in the business. Always a great time when we get to see them. And we're going to talk about 2 new cigars from them this year as well. So without further ado, welcoming on from Gurkha Cigars, Juan and Bianca from Gurkha Cigars. And I have a new interface here, and there it is. Welcome, guys.
What's up, Matt? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Tesla works.
Yeah. It's so good to see you guys. It's great to have you on. I'm just gonna move this out of my way. You guys are the first ones for 2023, so this is always something special. Kicking off a new year. We saw a couple of new cigars from you guys last year. We saw Pure Evil, which is what I'm smoking with me tonight. I'm gonna light this up, and the Colección Especial. Both good cigars. I know you have some new stuff to talk about too, but we'll highlight those first because those are what's currently available. Good year for you guys. And you, as always have new things going on. Last time I saw you, Juan, you were on the road. You, I think, had just gone into a car accident, if I remember correctly.
It was Bianca who got into the accident.
Oh, okay. That's what it was.
So, yeah, no, I don't get into accidents, man. I try to follow the law within reason. But yeah, dude. So I came from Miami. I had a meeting with Javi Carranza from Placencia, one of my boys, my best man at my wedding, coming up here, our wedding, and then Alonzo Morning. So we're doing his charity golf events, not this coming Monday, the following. So I had to knock that out. Had a meeting with the cruise lines. Had to knock that out. And people in my neighborhood are shooting off fireworks because it's still, I guess, a new year, right? So
people like to party down there.
Yeah,
They're
man.
also celebrating the new year with you.
Yes, I know. And again, I know you and I spoke earlier. Congrats for you and Nicole. I mean, it's amazing, man. I have 3 beautiful daughters, and I remember I cried for every single one when they were born. Because love like that, and when you see those babies look at you, it'll change your life forever. And yeah, so congrats, bro. Awesome.
Thank you very much. We are very excited. Thank you. It's every day is a new journey. What they tell me. So we are living that reality one day at a time so far. So hence why Nicole's not with me in the studio, or else she'd already be here, already lit up, already smoking. But that's okay. I'm a little bit more of a one-man show now, so I have to adapt. And until I get her situated, we're gonna get her set up in a non-smoking area to be on the show. Another announcement that it's worth mentioning for all of you out there: the show will be moving back to Wednesday nights, and we will have more people on. Carney will be back on the show probably more regularly now because of that. We'll also have Mitchell on the show a little bit more now because of that. So it'll be exciting. We have some more faces, some new faces, new day, same time, same place, but a couple of little changes, but everything else should be fine. Tonight, I just have to get a couple of things off of the palette first. I want to do a shout out to Two Guys Cigars. Obviously, when it comes to your retail cigar needs, head over to the number 2 guyscigars.com for one of the most amazing and widest selections of cigars in the industry. And that's once again at the number 2 guyscigars.com. And while you're at it, cut and light your cigars with none other than Cigar Blondie accessories, featuring the slim, flat blade flame, real sleek, real sexy, and the amazing double guillotine cutter. Very solid. These are some great products. You can check them out, read more about them, and buy them at cigarblondie.com. They're available in 3 finishes, a chrome, a white, and a black. All of them are extremely beautiful and extremely well made. All right, so back to the wonderful couple that's in front of me. You guys also, congratulations. I know you, well, not maybe congratulations yet, but you are getting married soon. That's March, correct?
No.
30 days.
30 days. February the 4th.
Oh, February 4th. Oh, okay. Wow. Sooner than I thought. Okay.
4th. Oh, no, March is my daughter's wedding.
Oh, that's what it is. Yes.
Our daughter's wedding. No.
Yeah.
And, I got double whammy.
First quarter.
And in the first quarter.
Yeah, you guys have a big first quarter.
Yeah. It's good, man. I got my reps coming in. Start coming in tomorrow through the weekend. We have our sales meeting coming up next week. There should be 2-3 days of a lot of info, a lot of excitement. There's a lot of great things ahead, and we had a really good year. Great year. I mean, listen, any year is a great year in our business, just because we are in the best business in the world. And
Sure.
I quote this from one guy, which I know you know well, Terrence Riley, which I just saw, by the way.
Mhm.
He was walking his son to jiu-jitsu, and his quote is, "If we would have put the amount of time that we put into this business, in the cigar business, we would be zillionaires, but it wouldn't be as fun."
Yeah, it's true. This is definitely more fun business.
But you know what? It's a great industry, great people. Everybody becomes family, which is what I love, and it's awesome, man. It's gonna be great. Can't wait.
Yeah, we're excited too. It's going to be a big year for us. It sounds like it's already going to be a big year for you and many others in the industry. We had our end of the year show last week. We talked about not only what we did, but highlights from around the industry and whatnot. And last year was an interesting year. It was kind of one of the first like full years after the the pandemic years of 2020 and 2021. So we saw a lot of new stuff that was I like to say kind of born from that. I think it's safe to say a lot of manufacturers, and you guys can speak to this too. I don't know if this specifically applies to you, but we saw a lot of brands use that downtime of the pandemic to just work on new projects and stuff for the future for when it was over. And I think we saw a lot of that. We saw a lot of companies come up with a lot of new stuff, a lot of stuff that obviously takes a few years to work on, but I think you'll continue to see that this year, because obviously making a new cigar, a new line, that can take 3-4 years. So I think we're still going to continue to see more pandemic children, so to speak, in terms of cigars and other products within the industry, which has been great. You see a lot of new stuff. People are getting back out there and getting back to normal, and you see a lot more business opportunities arise from that. So it's good, and it's good for the industry. It's good for the economy, frankly. But we did see 2 new cigars from you guys last year. We saw the Pure Evil, which I think is this is a great cigar. It's delicious. It's really juicy. This is definitely a cigar that I consider a 2023 contender. It was ineligible for last year, but we did have, because we did announce our top 25 list. We had the Gurkha Revenant Corojo on our top 25 list, which was an amazing cigar from the year before. In addition to the Pure Evil and the Colección Especial, we saw you guys released at the show. I think it was at the show. You had the fresh packs of the Revenants, but they were not box pressed. They were round. And then I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you had a third. Was there a Connecticut shade?
Yeah, in the Revenant, yes.
Yeah.
Connecticut shade,
Only available in the
only
sampler
on the
bag.
samplers. And listen, why we did that doesn't mean that we're going to come out in Connecticut. So our portfolio is huge, as you know, right? Like pretty much everybody else that's been in the business for a long time. So we're trying to balance out, the Maduro side, the Connecticut milder to medium side, get into the limited LEs, the limited edition with the Colección, which is our first true limited edition, 10 count box. Only 150 stores are carrying it nationwide, and they're doing fantastic with it. We just actually send out to the factories before we close down at the end of the year the next batch of boxes, because we're going to give them another opportunity to buy in again. And then at the trade show, we'll announce maybe expanding the the actual amount of stores I might carry it. Again, depending on the guy we work with, which is Abe, and the guys at ASP. Everybody knows ASP makes or not doesn't make, but grows the amazing wrapper in Ecuador, and that's the Perez family. And as long as we have enough to make sure that it's the same exact cigar, consistent, we'll expand it to another 100 stores, and we'll keep it that way for a while, and then we'll see what we come out with after that. So I mean, for Gurkha next year or this year, going into this year,
Next year.
yeah, right. It's going to be our 35th anniversary in the in cigar business, as far as the brand itself in the premium sector, and so we're working on something special, which you might see at the show, and then we have some other things that we're coming out with now because we've been working on these for a while and they're ready. And again, it's one of these deals that we'll get into it. That it only makes sense as far as the brand that we're introducing at the Smokin Gray
The
Smoke,
Great Smoke.
and then after that will be available probably a few months after that or a month after that at TPE.
Right away.
Right away at TPE. And,
TP is before the Great Smoke.
or
Yeah.
yeah. So as far as I'm sorry, as far as retail wise, they'll be the first ones to get it.
Okay.
But we'll introduce a TPE coming up in Vegas here in a month and a half, whenever. Dude,
And the
I don't
cigar
even know
should
what
be
month it
ready
is. I'm like,
Then.
we're so focused on
Yeah.
all the
Too
other
many
stuff
things.
that's going on, just not the industry or our company, our personal lives, and it's a lot of stuff, bro. It's crazy.
No, I mean, and you mentioned, that Gurkha's going into its 35th year. I mean, that's a long time to be in business, and when a brand gets to that point, sure, you have a lot going on. You'd hope, after 35 years, you'd hope to be a pretty big company, a lot going on, a lot of people to account for, a lot of products you have to, continue to manage and all that. So, of course, I mean, anytime you have a big company, there's a lot to deal with. But, at the same time, you got to celebrate those moments, and it sounds to me like you guys are going to celebrate that one too. So, we're really excited to hear more about that. And congratulations to Gurkha as a company.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Again, we had an awesome year. My team's been with me. I mean, most of my guys have been with me now over 10 years, which is, as you know, in this industry, to keep someone as a rep or what I call it my teammates, it's hard to do because they're always getting approached by other companies and this and the other. And the ones that have left are still family to me and to us and to the company. And we wish them always the best. And a lot of them have done phenomenal, which is awesome. That's what it's all about. That's growth is key.
Right,
So,
of course. One of the things I wanted to ask you tonight on the show is, in terms of you mentioned your portfolio, and it is a vast portfolio. But in the last couple of years, and I think we kind of touched a little bit on this a year ago when you were on the last time, but how has Gurkha adjusted and kind of tweaked their portfolio? Has there been any line reductions and stuff that's gone away, like in the last year or two, that has kind of reshaped the way your portfolio looks?
yeah, without a doubt. I mean, listen, every year we sit down, Jim and I, and I get my team involved. Obviously, B that's with us now. We sit down and we look at numbers and we look at distribution for products. And I always say this, humidors don't get any bigger. Everybody's portfolio does. And for us, our main goal is for our retail partners to have a mix of Gurkhas that sell for them, that do well for them. And I used to want to have 100 facings and only 20% moves. I want the 20% that moves. That's what you want to carry. That the 80-20 rule. You know how that goes
Yep.
in any business. And the humidors don't get any larger. So yeah, we always we cut down on a few brands here and there. Then we do cut down on sizes. And then I also give the opportunity to some of the retailers that do really well with some of the brands that we no longer make or not really doing as well in the U.S. that we move on to Europe. In Europe, I mean, like the Heritage, the Havana Legend, which you don't see as much in the U.S., do great in Europe for us. We just do. And so stuff like that, we keep for the European market. And then if any retailer does well with it and they want to, buy into it, I'll be more than happy to make it for the store. It's within reason. I mean, I'm not going to make you 100 cigars. There's a certain number you have to be at for us to take from our production of the regular lines for us to be able to make some of the older Gurkha lines for them. So it's got to make sense for both of us, as far as the retail partner and us. And yeah, we stay steady, we stay consistent, and listen, we're one of the few companies. I always tell people this. We work with so many different factories that the flavor profiles on our cigars are so different in so many lines, which is key, which very few companies can really do. And I'll talk about that in one of the new offerings that we're doing for which will also be a TPE. And again, a small factory, and we'll talk about it when we get into that. But it's listen, we always look for these smaller factories that we could grow with. We know where they get their tobacco. We know who they're buying it from. We know the people they're buying it from, and we they grow with us. Cuevas, one of them, obviously American Caribbean, PDR with Abe Flores. Now Ram over at Artista is growing huge with us, and like that. That's the way our business model is as a company. That's what we do.
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of good names, good factories, people that make great cigars. One of my absolute favorite cigars from Gurkha is the Ghost Gold. I mean, I remember I think I smoked that the first time I smoked it with you last year, maybe.
Hmm.
But I've
Hmm.
since then I've smoked a good amount of them, and that's like one of my favorites. And we talked a little bit about this last time you were on, but one of the criticisms of Gurkha that I hear a lot is the fact, well, Gurkha doesn't make any cigars, but there's other brands out there that don't make a lot of their cigars. They're made at other factories, and they design them, they work the blend, and then they sell them. Why do you think people continue to single you guys out, even though you guys have some cigars that are fantastic, and it's a practice that a lot of brands in this industry do?
Well, I think more than anything, it goes back to the confusion of brands within the brick and mortar, which what we focus on,
Mhm.
and my team focuses on, uh, for the retail partners and the stuff that we make for CI, Myers and Dutch, same people, blah blah blah.
In
Yep.
addition to the things that are royalty brands that we don't actually make.
No, exactly. So
So
listen, it gets. I mean, she gets it all the time, a lot more than me. Like people like chiming into her. Where can I find this cigar? It's the best cigar I ever had 2 years ago. You don't make it anymore, and we don't. When we see the brand, we know where it came from, and then we tell them it was a royalty brand. We don't make it anymore, but you should try this one and support your brick and mortar because I'm all about brick and mortar. I'm a brick and mortar guy through and
Absolutely.
through. Always have been. And I think and again, and also the length that we've been in the business. So a lot of changes. We went from the baddest packaging in the land, always, 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 to nice packaging with pretty good cigars. Now with decent packaging with really good cigars, great cigars in the Nicaragua series. The Pure Evil, the Colección, and stuff like that. That I think as a company we changed. And again, you give a lot of credit to that. Jim Colucci and myself and Bianca and my team. I get my team involved too because they're the guys on the road all the time. I'm with them as much as I can, but they're the face of the company and within their territory. So it's got to make sense for everybody, and that's just the way that. Listen, to me is when you do it for a long time, there'll be critics, but we also have a lot of people that love our product and are very loyal to Gurkha, which we love and appreciate. And I love the thing I love the most is when I find that guy, oh Gurkha this, and I give him a cigar, and they're like, "This is not a Gurkha." I go, "Yeah, it's a Gurkha that's been like this for the last 7 8 years." You're thinking the Gurkha you tried, 15 years ago, 18 years ago that was overpriced, not consistent. We're not overpriced. I think we're in the sweet spot, and sometimes even below the sweet spot, because we want everybody to try the cigar because we also know where some of these guys are coming from. When you're buying a $4 cigar online, right? And we don't have the cigar, but I could offer you a six, seven, $8 cigar that's good, or is as good or better. Now you can support the brick and mortar. Now the pocket won't hurt as much, right?
True.
So that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, I mean, I only bring it up because I know that people they say things, and I like to try to use my platform to set the record straight for you guys because I think you guys are doing a great job, and I think you got great people. You have some great cigars. Every company goes through periods of things they got to change and whatnot. So that's why I bring it up. I bring it up because I want to help set the record straight for you guys because I think you guys are doing great.
Appreciate that so much, Matthew. Thank you.
It's my job, and I call it how I see it. If I didn't think they were good, then I'd say it and probably wouldn't have you guys on the show. But no, but no, I mean really, you guys have done some really great stuff. And I encourage more people to revisit Gurkha if it's been a while or if you haven't. I can't tell you how many times I've had to revisit brands myself, and then I'm like, oh shit, I've been wasting so much time. Seriously, you guys have been doing some great things. The Pure Evil was one of my favorite cigars that came out of the trade show last year. I remember I first smoked it, and my first impression of it was the thing that I tasted the most was like this like juicy Granny Smith apple. The big green ones. I just remember, I don't know why that came to me, and I was like, it blew me away, and I was like, wow, I love that flavor component on this cigar, and I couldn't get enough of it. It was so good. But on the Pure Evil, that was a brand, if I remember correctly, that was a brand that had previously existed that went away and then it came back. Is that true?
Right. So it was actually called just Evil. Okay.
Okay.
And the blend that we used was very similar, but we somewhat you tweak it a little bit. Listen, tobaccos change, different harvests. You know how that goes. Everybody knows.
Of course.
So we went back to the same guy that made it the first time, and we said, let's tweak it. If you look at that wrapper is probably one of the nicest wrappers, me personally, in the cigar business. This wrapper to me is next level beautiful when you look at it. Yeah, it's got that Habano Ecuadorian Rosado, beautiful. I mean, that's a beautiful, beautiful wrapper. And then I got the kickback of people like Juan, the Pure Evil, with everything that's going on nowadays, the name, this and the other. I go, listen, man, what's in the name, really? And I've had some retailers tell me, I won't carry it because my soul won't let me carry it. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I respect it. But I respect it. And there's a few guys that are pretty big guys that have it, and then they try it and it sells in their store, and here we are, right? So so the Pure Evil it just made a lot of sense, and the repackaging again, we're going after, some of the because as lately in the traveling and
very flashy.
After COVID and all that stuff. There's a lot of newer smokers, a lot of younger smokers, meaning, that 25 to 35, 40-year-old guys that are coming in. Now, we thought that would be a gravitating kind of band to it, look to it. Also, we think we're big. We have a big biker community that smoke cigars. They love that stuff. Now we're coming out with swag that's all about the Pure Evil that you'll be seeing, as we do events throughout the year this year. And that's why we did it pretty much. We had that in our portfolio, and we said, listen, predicate brands are predicate brands. That's what sells, because we have to be careful, because the FDA right now, it's arm's length. They're over here, but you never know when they come back hunting, right?
Very true.
What it is. So that's our mentality is that. So and you'll see in the new offering that we're doing, it's following the same model of just bringing some of the older stuff back, making it better, and making it somewhat within that sweet spot, affordable, where everybody could smoke it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one thing that you said that I thought was interesting, you thought a lot about the newer smokers, especially the younger newer smokers, the mid-20s, early 30s. Cigar smoking kind of historically was always kind of a more of a middle-aged kind of bracket, but like today you're seeing a younger age bracket really getting into cigars, and especially during the pandemic. And we've talked a lot about, on not just my show, but a lot of the shows, that one of the biggest things from the pandemic for the cigar industry that changed was there was a lot more, not just like the media stuff like what I do and what others do, but there's more of a digital component to the industry, and more people can get connected to information, and there's more virtual events, and there's more videos, and the younger generation, they're all about that. And so I think naturally, when more of that became a mainstay and became popular, now you have this younger generation who's discovering cigars more and learning more about them and thinking like, oh, this is actually kind of interesting. And now you're seeing a lot more younger smokers getting into cigars and trying to figure it out and figure out their palate and find cigars they like and whatnot. So, and it's interesting to hear you say that, because that's something I don't hear a lot of people come on from brands and talk about, things that they try to do to appeal to the next generation, because, people are always getting older. So, companies, can can last, but your customer always gets older, so you always have to think of, well, who's next. And so it's interesting to hear you say that, because it is important. You always have to think about, well, who's the next customer that's coming in demographically, which I
Absolutely.
think.
That and then you also have, listen, and it goes back to, they're not, how could I put it? They're not poisoned by
The stigma.
the stigma.
Yeah,
All the they're like, okay, I'm new in the game. Let me try this. Oh shit, this is really good. And then then you hear some of the old guys, or guys are stuck on the same products that they like. Listen, I respect that 100%. I like boutique brands myself. I smoke them all. I know all the guys that who have smaller brands. I think they make great cigars, but also people need to comprehend that to be a boutique, a smaller boutique brand, it's not as hard to get consistency on a cigar when you're making 8 9 million sticks compared to, per se, a million cigars per year, or a million and a half cigars, whatever it may be. Which again, it's a tough go, and it's again getting it over and over again. I think only the old school guys, like the Sakas of the world. Those guys have been around the block a million times, so he knows what he likes. The Eric Espinosa Shorty, one of my good friends.
yeah,
He's been around. He knows what he's doing, because he's been through. He went through the highs in '96, through the lows in the 2000s, and he did his own brand. He did well. Him and Eddie. Then he went solo, and he's doing great. Now he's doing amazing with the Nugget Sandwich and Guy Fieri, which is amazing. I think that was a home run for him.
great cigar.
No, it's a great smoke. I
Oh,
actually tried it before it came out. Shorty gave it to me. I was smoking the water, which is my local shop here, and I love the Habano, and the Maduro's good too. But the Habano I really enjoyed, and I again, man, and like that, like Sobremesa, so that Steve makes, and you got Nick Foundation makes awesome sticks. There's a lot of
great.
guys that make great cigars,
Yeah.
but they are true cigar guys that have been in the game for a long time. They just took that step to say, you know what, why not me? Which I respect that. So
Let me ask you a question. We talk a lot about other people and a lot of, mention a lot of good names, but is there anyone in the industry that Gurkha hasn't done a cigar, at their factory, that you would love to do that hasn't been done yet?
yeah, and I've sat with a few, we sat with Ernesto Carrillo. I sat with Justo for a few times.
Mhm.
Justo Iroa. Those two guys are on the list. Obviously, AJ's a dear friend of mine, but the tobacco that we use in the Nicaraguan factory to work with American Caribbean, he buys 99% of his tobacco comes from AJ. So it's not using his name, but using his tobacco, and in that sake. So yeah, I mean those are the guys that right off the bat I would love to do something with. I mean you got Henderson, Ventura. I mean the factory burned down. It's going to take a little bit of time for them to get back on the to doing what they need to do.
Sure.
But no, and then we've I known Ram for a long time, and I never knew that how big these guys are really. Artista's a monster, man. When you go to the factories and you see how much tobacco they have and the influence they have and the contacts that has, and he makes really good smoke. So we started working with him with the Revenant, and we're working with him on some other things, and we continue to do that. Same thing with this guy that I just befriended, and again we'll talk about this a little bit later on some of the new stuff that I befriended, and I went down to his factory. The factory was a smaller factory, but he had really good tobacco, and this guy doesn't draw test because he weighs everything. I'm like, dude, you don't draw test? I mean, I know it's the old Cuban way. We all know what Cubans don't draw. Dude, this guy gave me 300 different cigars, and I lit up, and I just lit them up and cut them and lit them, and they all drew perfectly. And he goes, "It's for me. It's about the weight. That's just the way I do it." And he made some really good blends for us, and we were very impressed enough to give him a pretty good size, beginning order for a new project that we're doing for TPE.
You mentioned some of the new products that you wanted to get into at some point, and I think maybe we can maybe start to creep into those if you're ready, of course.
Yeah,
I know you have multiple, so why don't you start us off with where you want to go first, and we'll go from there.
yeah. I'm going to go with the Ghost Connecticut. So we said, all right. So the Ghost, regular Ghost is our our horse. That and the Cellar Reserve, that's our horse, and the infused cognac. Those are our three horses, right? And then you have stuff like the Heritage, the Nicaragua series by Arganosa. They do well, but I said the progression of the Ghost should be what we did, which is the Aripiraca. They went with 1 year, the Rosado that you enjoy on the gold. Then we say, you know what? Why don't we make something, with our friend, partner, and I love that guy, my dude, Abe Flores. So we said we'll keep it simple. We'll do the exact same blend, but we'll put a beautiful Connecticut seed wrapper that is home run for us.
Wow.
And yeah, dude, no,
Look at that box too. That's sharp. So the blend is the same as the gold, but the wrapper's different. It's Connecticut shade.
that is correct.
Is it an
That is correct.
Ecuadorian Connecticut shade?
Ecuador, Connecticut shade. But brother, when I tell you that it's like the prime of the prime, because when we went down there, we said, Abe, we need a million cigars. Pretty much what he said. He's like, I got this, and then of course, then he calls, the guys from ASP, and dude, it's gonna be great. It's mild to medium, but it's the evolution of the brand. So we went from Connecticut. So the Connecticut's, if you notice, and I think I always say this, okay, 70% of the smokers smoke mild to medium. The other 30% or 25, depending on who you talk to, smoke full body stuff, right? The full body stuff, to do it right, that's why I give credit to guys like Padron, that's more medium to full, which I enjoy. That's my favorite cigar.
Mm-hmm.
LFD, with Carney and the Gomez's.
Powerhouse.
I mean, those guys, yeah, they're amazing cigars, but again, they make such limited amounts, and they're always on the back order. And I get it, and I comprehend it, because it takes a certain type of tobacco to make it full body, consistent. That's not going to be bitter. That's going to be smooth, but yet flavorful, complex, and that's a hard thing to get to. And we tried doing something similar to that on the Pure Evil. It's more of a medium to full because it's got some pop to it, but again, it's not super strong like a chisel or stuff like that. That those things. I smoke those, and yeah, I call them like fucking chest breakers, lung breakers. They're great, but there's only so many I can have, so stuff like that.
If I'm not wrong, when I first started with Gurkha almost 10 years ago, right, we had a lot of full body in our portfolio.
We did.
And we phased it out because we were eliminating a lot of our smokers, a lot of the smokers out there, from trying anything in our portfolio because it was too full for them. And then for a lot of years, we gravitated toward the medium, a few mild. And so the Pure Evil, when we came up with this concept, to bring back the evil as the Pure Evil, we said, wow, we haven't had a full body in years.
Right.
And so that's why we came out with that to pack the
Again,
punch.
I consider it, again, depends. Everybody's palate is different. It's more of a medium body, full flavor kind of cigar. That's what I consider it. So where we fail on trying to do with the full body stuff is, again, if you cannot control that tobacco on a full body cigar, it's going to be bitter. It's not going to be consistent. So you stay away from that. You stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, young man, kind of thing. So that's what we ended up doing until we revisited the Pure Evil, and that cigar is fantastic, man. It's doing great. I mean, the 2 shipments that we shipped out, most of them have been selling really well, which I'm happy with. We just sent out more boxes to be made. We sold the first 10,000 boxes in the last 2 months of the year, that's when we delivered it. And so we're moving forward. And yeah, man, it's listen, man, it's a challenge. When you don't own your own factories, it truly is. But when you have good business partners that you took from 100,000 cigars to 1 million or 2 million, 3 million cigars, they know who feeds them, kind of thing, and they could do their own thing, and we're happy with that. But they know who brings the numbers and who we are.
So on the flip side of that, when we decided to come out with the Ghost this year, and last year when we started the concept of it and brought it forward, the original Ghost, the Ghost Silver, was on the full body side, medium to full. The Ghost Gold went more medium, still a little bit plus. And then we decided, let's incorporate another smoker in the mix to enjoy what so many people talk about, because the Ghost, at the end of the day, is our number one by volume box sale, right? So we decided to bring out that Connecticut to incorporate a portfolio of Ghost for any smoker.
Correct.
You know, Bianca, it's interesting. You mentioned a lot of the fuller bodied cigars that you previously, when you first started, and how you were eliminating smokers. And it's interesting to hear you say that because, you know, we talk to a lot of brand owners who come on the show, and people like, you know, Nick Perdomo will tell you, and I know because he said this, you know, their number one selling cigar is the Connecticut Shade. It's the Champagne, I believe. It's the Perdomo 10
Yep.
Champagne. That's the number one selling cigar. And most brands will tell you that their Connecticut Shades are their most popular because, and it's not something I think a lot of people realize, but the majority of, you know, the people who buy cigars, not just what you see, but just the people who actually buy, you talk to retailers and you say, what cigars you sell the most of? They sell naturals and Connecticut Shades more than they sell Maduros and, you know, Corojos and a lot of other tobaccos that have a lot more strength or a lot more fuller body profiles in terms of flavor. It's always the milder medium cigars that sell the most. So naturally, it makes sense to hear you say that. And so to come out with something like this, I think is obviously, especially in the Ghost line, like you said, it's such a core line for you. It makes a lot of sense to have something like that in that collection.
Well, and again, and it goes back to this. You know, we kept the Ghost at a reasonable price. You know, I mean, we could have charged, you know, 12, $13. You know, I mean, now the average cigar is, you know, it's, you know, 14, $15, right? When we sit with Abe, we go, listen, man, we need a great cigar. We need to be in this realm of price point to make sure that everybody could smoke it. Not just your 5%ers. I want everybody to smoke it. So we need to be in that $8.50 to $10 price range, which is where Ghost has been
Right
for
where
a
we
long
want.
time. And another thing that people don't realize too about us is, you know, we keep growing as a company, and we're, I think, one of the few that have not gone a price increase in what, 3 years now, 3 4 years. It's been a while.
Yes.
We haven't increased our prices in a long time because, you know, we make good margins, and we know that you can price a cigar out of the marketplace if you go crazy. And there's no need for that. You know, it's listen. I don't want. I like pizza. I don't want a whole. I don't want an extra large pizza. I want a piece of the. I want a slice, dude. And that slice for me is, you know, any that 5 to 8% of the humidor. If I could get my 25 facing in there, I'm all right. All right. All right.
I don't know. I love pizza.
Are you guys going to be doing a price increase for this year or no price for increase again?
That is not a mistake. I did not issue a press release because we have not issued a price increase.
Right. So we're literally, and she'll tell you, we're sitting with our partners, and some have raised the price a little bit, and you know, we've eaten it, and some have raised the price an incredible amount that we might do something, but it won't be that, you know, 10%, 8%. It'll be in that, you know, 4 to 5%, if that, just to cover what they've gone up. You know,
Right.
I mean, immense. I mean, some guys went crazy on us, and we say, you know what, let's just stay the course.
Yeah.
And dude, that's just the way. You know, that's the gym mentality, my mentality, our mentality as a company is, you know, listen, you know, yeah, we have the most expensive car in the world. I get it, blah blah. We sell Toyotas, we sell BMWs, we sell Nissans, we sell them all, dude. We don't. It's not about having the most expensive car. Listen, that, yeah, it's great to have that, and you got, you know, you sell 10 boxes a year, but our core brands is what makes the company go.
Do you still
Until
make those?
we're absolutely
Oh, yeah.
squeezed, we're not gonna pass it over.
What, the
So-
HMRs?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah. I mean, dude, the guys at Club 8 in Vegas,
Oh.
Yeah.
they bought 4 boxes from us already.
The Maharaja too.
And the Maharaja, which that was crazy when
Mhm.
he, yeah. So yeah, dude, I saw it in person at the PCA this year. This Asian
I
guy
took
comes
a
in
picture of that.
and he took 5 cigars at $2,000 a piece. Out of his Amex Black, I'm going to myself. You know, you could have bought a bottle of Louis Trey and bought some cigars. I'm not a confused guy. It does well for us. I mean, as far as, you know, the Grand Reserve, the cognac, the bourbon, and the rum, they do well for us. But that's not my cup of tea. I'm a cigar guy. I don't, you know, obviously I'm a drinker, but I rather drink and smoke cigars, not infuse. That's just me.
Yeah.
But they
The
sell-
the on the Ghost Connecticut, how many sizes will be available in that?
we kept it simple, man. Robusto, Toro, 6x60,
Wrap it
Okay.
up.
and the Rothschild.
Oh, instead of the Toro, that's right.
Rothschild, same shit.
I'm
Sorry.
staring at it. That's why.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, because you know what's funny though, and it was a conversation that I found with a few guys in the industry. I go, how does Cigar Aficionado, okay, come out with a top, 25, and then 10 out of or 8 out of the top 10 or whatever it was are Churchills. That size does not sell in any store unless you're buying an Ashton Classic or a Macanudo or a Romeo. I mean, I was mind boggling to me because I'm thinking that they're trying to bring that size back some way somehow. We're gonna stay on what sells, on what the consumer is asking for. I don't see people asking. Although on the collection, we did do the long stale slash more of a it's not a true long sale. It's a 6 1/4 or 6.5 by 48. But I love this size. This is one of my favorite sizes. I
I do
wanted a 40.
too.
Yeah, I wanted a 40. I wanted a 46, 47. But we figured, the bang for the buck. Why the hell not make it a 48 and it still stays, a nice size as far as the ring gauge. And yeah, so I mean, again, listen, man, Robusto Toro 6x60. That's what sells. We try to get into the 71s, and I always say this to everybody. I'll let our buddies, the Euro and Lazukas, make that money. And obviously Carney with some of his stuff, but yeah, we just don't. That's not our cup of tea. That's not what we do. We just keep it simple and we move forward.
And so that cigar will be shown at TPE, and then that's the one that's going to be available first at the Great Smoke.
That is correct.
Okay.
To
Very
retail
interesting.
it at the TPE, and the first time that consumers will actually have a chance to smoke it is at the Great Smoke, because that's the cigar that we're giving away.
Yep.
Nice. That'll be really cool. Is it going to be in the, yeah, so it'll be in the, so if you're, well, it's funny because we have Abe and Alex coming on 2 weeks. Yeah, I think it's 2 weeks. We'll be doing a show with Abe and Alex, so everyone knows, talking about the Great Smoke and all that. So this is interesting because it's a little bit of a pre for that. So those who go will get that from you at the booth, and then anyone who has the virtual pack at home, it'll be in that virtual pack as well for those people.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yep, you'll see our ad in their listing and everything.
That's really cool. I'm excited to try that because I am a fan of the Ghost blend, and I do like a good Connecticut every once in a while too. I like to go a little something mild, medium, and kind of cool off my palate a little bit. It's nice, like you said. It's nice to have, especially if you smoke a lot of strong stuff. If you don't smoke a lot of strong stuff, it's something new that someone can get into the Ghost line.
Right. And listen, I've noticed also that there's a lot of guys that are medium to full guys that are going a little bit every now and then. They'll dabble into the mild to medium. Because you have to, man. If you go full all the time, I mean, listen, man. I like medium to full myself, but you could ask Bianca. I smoke this every morning at the office, smoke in the afternoon. I'll smoke it at night. I just got done smoking. I told you with hobbies. I just got done smoking Amar Forte, which I love. And then to sit down to this, you're like, okay, good cigar, but yeah, Amar Forte is like a next level flavor wise. A little plug for the family. But again, it goes back to I'm seeing a lot of guys, even guys like me, that have been doing this forever and been in the business, going from that medium to full to more like mild to medium, just again to cool the palate down a little bit, try something different, literally like what's the word I'm looking for again? I'm lost for words right now. Imagine that never happens.
A guy like you, yeah, I'm surprised that you're lost for words.
Yeah, it's just
Is the Gurkha, so the Connecticut Ghost, the Ghost Connecticut rather, so is that the only cigar that we'll see at TPE, or are we going to see others at TPE that won't be available until later?
You'll see others. So this one here, okay, this is the first time we show it.
Well, are we taking that one to TPE? Or
Yeah, we're taking it to TPE.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we are. So this is what we did. So as you know, we're known for the ultra fancy boxes back in the day. So what happens? So you walk around, because you've never been to our place yet. You have to come. You've been invited.
The office?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't been there.
I think
you're
you need
invited. You
a
need to
set of
come and
hands
see it.
here,
Yeah.
right?
So this product here was made many moons ago. It's called the Grand Age.
Okay.
It used to be a Brazilian wrapper with Nicaraguan, Dominican, and then we said, you know what? We found 2,700 boxes.
Just about.
of these right here, and we said, why don't we do
Let's see
this?
if I can get you a light.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, you light it.
I know
Why don't
it's-
we do this? Why don't we find something that we could do with this cigar, with this box, and make it attractive to everyone that could smoke it? So we did Connecticut, Habano, Maduro. It's called the Grand H2 Dose, and we kept it just one size only. And what's good about it is, so you get 60 cigars in one box. Okay, you get 60 cigars,
Wow.
and the retail is going to be 650 if you want retail 650 a cigar, and if you want to refill it because we don't have any more of these boxes, we'll give the retail partner a break on the wholesale price, so they could a make a little more money or b pass it on to the consumer. So that's yeah. I'm excited. This is the small little factory I told you that we found, and this guy made these cigars, man, and I was impressed, and we're able to get it at a good price point just because he wants to start doing business with us. And when you give him a certain order, and he goes, there goes the dog, and he goes, man, I've never gotten an order this big, and we said, listen, as long as it tastes exactly the same every single time, we're going to be doing business. And that's the factory I told you in Nicaragua. It's called Las Villas.
Yep.
Small little factory, and Guy has become a buddy of mine, and he made some great cigars. I'm excited for people to try them, and I think a lot of the stores are going to realize, there's going to be like the grab five at a time kind of cigar, right? And that's the idea behind the Grand H2.
So when you talk about the refills on that, so the consumer will get the box, and you said it would be 650 for the whole set, and then if they want,
No. So the retailer gets the box with 60 cigars. The retail cost per cigar is $6.50.
oh, okay, I'm
So
sorry.
okay, yeah, it's only one size. Now, when they want to refill the box, we don't have many more boxes. We got 2,700, which we know we'll sell that out at TPE. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Now, once they sell through it, if there's going to be a guy that's going to come into the store, this happens. I want all 60 cigars because I like that box. It happens.
Mhm.
We're going to send a letter out to the retailers partners and tell them, listen, if you do that, we don't have any more boxes. We just don't. If you keep it, we could refill it for you in bundles and keep it in that, and then we'll give you a discount on the wholesale price, so you could either make a little more money on it, or b pass it on to the consumer.
And in terms of the refill, is the refill only going to be for all three? Or what if someone comes in, they just want one? Can they order individuals?
Yeah, bundle wise, you mean?
Yeah, like
Individual wrappers.
Yeah, absolutely. Of
Okay.
course, you have to. We know that the Connecticut Habano probably go faster than the Maduro. Happens a lot.
Yep.
So yeah, we're definitely gonna. Yeah, that's not gonna be a problem. Absolutely, yes.
Well, that's a really cool concept. What's the size on it?
6 by 54.
650. So yeah, it's almost standard Toro.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's really interesting. And so,
And the band we
That's
did the band. This is Albano. The band came out fantastic too.
that's really nice.
It's a cigar that you'll smoke it. You're like, not only does it look nice, it smokes great, and for the price point, I think we're gonna get a lot of guys hooked on this. I truly believe that.
The so we'll see that at TPE, but when will
Mhm.
that be available?
They'll probably be available probably a month and a half, 2 months after. The orders are already in. We're letting them sit for at least 2 to 3 months. That's just the way it goes.
Oh, okay, nice. So, are there any other cigars that you guys will be debuting that you can talk about, or is that those like
No,
the two?
That's pretty much for TPE and in the second quarter kind of products that we're
You'll
that
have
we're
to have
showing.
us back for PCA releases.
Yes,
Yeah.
PCA is more than likely it'll be one real special one, and we'll talk about that when that time comes.
Okay, yeah, we can wait for that.
Going back to the first one of the questions you asked me, these guys you want to work with that you haven't worked with, we're working on that.
Okay, that's good to know. But no, that's cool. You guys have both of those are very interesting. I'm excited to try those. Very, very interesting concepts too. I mean, I think you have something good with the Ghost Connecticut, and then obviously, that box was amazing. It's like a treasure chest. I mean, that's just that's
Yep.
sharp.
Dude, I have she knows I tell the story all the time. So I had when we first came out with that, I just got into the company 13 years ago. We had the Grand Age, and I was at an event, and some lady goes to her husband, "You need to buy the 10 that are left. It was a 30 count box or whatever it was at that time, 33. And he goes, "Why? Just buy the box." Well, he buys the cigars, buy the box. I come back like 5 months later to the same store, just visiting with the rep, and she goes, "Oh, Mr. Lopez, how you doing? By the way, thank you for the box." And I go, "Oh, that's right. Your husband bought you the box." She goes, "Yes, I buried my cat in it." I'm like, what? I'm like, no, no. Then I go, maybe we should get into that business. there's a lot of cats out there.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you guys a quick break. We're gonna hit our news segment really quick, and then I'll bring you guys back. But our news this week is once again brought to you by Micallef Cigars. If you head over to micallefcigars.com today, you can sign up to become an official Micallef ambassador. And while you're at it, head over to Facebook and join the Micallef Ambassadors Facebook group to smoke along with all of your fellow ambassadors. This week, the news has come to us about the Punch Spring Roll Limited Edition for the Year of the Rabbit. This is something that General has done with the Punch line the last couple of years. Punch will kick off the year with the... sorry, let me move this out of my way. I have something on screen here. Punch will kick off the year of the Rabbit with a limited edition smoke called the Spring Roll. This new release marks the 5th installment of the brand's highly successful Chinese New Year series, which has included the sought-after Punch blends, the Fu Manchu, Kung Pao, the Chop Suey, and the Egg Roll. These are very interesting. We've seen these. They have very interesting packaging. You want to talk about packaging. We've talked about packaging tonight with Gurkha, but these guys have done some interesting things with their packaging. This one comes in a Chinese takeout box. Definitely unique. And we've seen, and it's another installment of these Chinese Zodiac releases that we've seen a lot of manufacturers do. And it seems to be getting more and more popular every year. Drew Estate does it. Davidoff does it. And I expect to see more and more of these as time goes on. They seem to be really popular. They get a lot of people's attention. They always seem to sell out from the retailers I talk to. So that is our news of the week from Micallef Cigars. And if you want to read more about this, you can head over to smokintabacco.com in our news section, and you can read all about this. Alrighty, let me just bring this off the screen. There we go. Where did that go? There we go. Back to the show. Sorry. I have to do everything myself right now because I don't have Nicole to normally do it for me, which is it's taking a little bit of getting used to, but I'll get it down. It'll be fine. But anyway, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, something I saw and I don't know, maybe it's already out there and I've been living under a rock, but I know I've seen it personally, but I haven't seen it like around, is when we were at the Great Smoke last year, you had a bottle of Gurkha bourbon.
Oh.
So what is the story with that? Because we're bourbon people. We love bourbon. I tried it. I was able to try some of it. It was great. I loved it. But we're gonna get it because is that available yet? Is that more of a special project that hasn't really made it out there yet? What's the story?
I'll let the marketing guru.
That is actually not a Gurkha Cigars project. Yep. That's a project that Kaisad Hansosha has brought about in his own light. His own brand, completely separate from Gurkha Cigars. And I've had an opportunity to work with his marketing team to kind of give them a little bit of guidance. Yeah, good. Yep. Into which way to go on some different information and working with him on it. And it's completely separate. So
okay.
I believe that they are, from what I know, they are beginning their distribution through duty free and a lot of distribution overseas. And who knows where it'll take off and how far it'll go. But you never know. Maybe we'll see it stateside sometime soon. Maybe not. I truly don't know. So that I probably have more insight into it than anybody else, and that's as much as I actually know.
Well,
man, as you know, Kay hasn't been part of the company for 2.5, 3 years now.
Yep.
And he's an entrepreneur. He's still the owner of the company, in paper per se. Him and his wife, and he's an entrepreneur, dude. That guy just puts his hands on stuff, and he's got so many contacts that he's able to do stuff like that. And he's done some other projects that we know about that blow our minds. And I can't believe that you've done this. And yeah, we can't talk about it, but yeah,
He's definitely a marketing guru.
it's pretty crazy
he's
stuff.
somebody I'm pleased that I had the opportunity to study under and to work with, because he's a marketing guru and he knows what he's doing. That being said, I do not drink bourbon, but anyone who has had it has said that it's definitely good.
It is.
So if you have an opportunity to try it, if you have an opportunity to get your hands on it, I would say try it. Take a look. You'll recognize some of the branding that you've seen before, some things under Kate Hansosha, his brand, that's out there. But yeah, it's totally separate. So we don't even have a lot going on there that I can.
That's fair. That's fair. I wasn't sure. Like I said, I remember seeing it, but I didn't really know much about it, and I had a little taste of it, and it was good. But I was just curious. But no, that's interesting. So I'll have to see in my travels if I travel around outside of the States if I can find it.
Well,
but,
you know a few people.
Yeah, that's true too. I know some people. But no, that's interesting. I mean, it's and I feel like it's something I've seen some other cigar brands do. Is they try to kind of go into the liquor industry as well with their brand. So I thought it was worth bringing up. But no, that's good. I didn't know all that. So that's interesting. So in addition to everything else we talked about tonight, it's been a great year for you guys in the last year. Obviously we talked about the Pure Evil and Coleccion, and we've seen these two new products, which I'm excited to see how these perform this year, and they'll be out soon.
You got the inside scoop. You're the first guy we've talked to this about, by the way.
Yeah, I made
FYI.
him keep it under lock and key all
So Coop, I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm sorry, bro. We gave it to Matthew first. The guy's having meetings right now. You already have kids. They're older.
Brooks and Charlie are going to be like combing through this episode to get all the information so they can get it out. But but no, that's awesome. And thank you for breaking that here on the show. It's definitely exciting. And it sounds like there might even be some more to come later in the year, which, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But it's nice because you have some excitement now. You can have some excitement later. You guys definitely have a full year of stuff to have us in terms of Gurkha cigars. So just congrats on all of that. And just keep up the good work with everything you guys have been doing the last few years. The fresh packs on the Revenant, those are still available, right? That wasn't like a one-time release, right?
No, that's still available. It's again, it's getting some traction. Listen, for us, the fresh pack side of our business, it's blown up in such a crazy way. I mean, our cellar reserve bags are. I mean, I think I said it last year. We became the number one SKU for Total Wine in all their stores, which is crazy because before that was Quorum, the bundle that everybody has and sells, and that's done really great for us with them and the retail. Then we did the Nicaraguan red bag that does really well for them. ABC, a lot of more of those bags is more just to get people to try it at a decent price. So where we learned our lesson was the first year and a half or 2 years we did it. We were putting the same exact size as the hedonism in the bags.
Size and shape.
Size and shape. Thank you. And we realized that, in my travels, some retailers, since they're getting a little bit of a discounted price point, they're putting it into the boxes. So we nipped that in the bud and we just said, we're going straight parejo on that one. So it's a straight parejo 6x54. That's what you're getting in those bags. And they do really well for us. And then obviously the Arganosa green bag does pretty well for us as well. That's more for the guys that like that boutique, Arganosa, kind of flavor with that tobacco that they have. That's amazing. Then we have a discounted one that we call the Nicaragua Blue, which is some of the older brands that we've had in the past.
Yeah.
And we made it inexpensive for again, to help the retail for those guys who do come in and say, well, I smoke Gurkha, but I spent so much money on it, and we made it reasonably priced. Retail at at $29 for 6 cigars. I think that's a reasonable price. So now the retailer's making money. These guys are buying from the retailer, not just going online. And again, our focus, our main focus as a company is brick and mortar brands. That's where we're at.
And I think the baggies are great because we talked a lot about different wrappers earlier on in the show.
Yeah.
But as personally, you walk into a humidor, and if you're not well versed in cigars, and even if you are, a humidor is extremely overwhelming. It's just like walking into a liquor store and saying you think you know what you want to get today, but something flashy flashed in your face and you said, oh, that's but do I really want to spend that limited amount of money that I have on that new thing that I don't really know if I'll enjoy. So these baggies are a good way of providing an array of different brands to a consumer, something that maybe you grab. We always say a 6-pack to grab and enjoy with people on a golf course. So you're handing out 4 and there you go, you've got 2 more to enjoy for yourself. Or with the Revenant, what you're getting in the Corojo and the Maduro, but hey, maybe I'll try a Connecticut, and different things like that. So Cellar Reserve, you get a little bit of almost everything from the entire Cellar Reserve portfolio. So it's a good way to grab a pack, something that's self-humidified, take it on the go. Maybe you're a traveling salesperson and you want it for the week while you're away from home and away from your humidor, whatever it is. And it's also a great way to present a gift. So.
Absolutely.
It is, and we've talked a lot about those packs too. The bags are great. They're good for beginners too, who are just looking for. A lot of companies have different varieties with them and stuff like that. So it's a nice way for people to just grab something simple, has a variety of different things to try something. They're usually at a good price point, across multiple brands. And the other thing I've noticed about them is they seem to be kind of the replacement of the tubos. I've seen a lot of companies kind of either go away from the tubos or discontinue tubos, and now they bring in these packs, the baggies. And I think that it's something that is going to continue to grow and get bigger, and it's going to be something that more and more brands do, and I think it's great. And it definitely keeps the cigars fresher too, because a lot of those baggies, they have that gel lining in the back, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, so they keep the cigars even fresher than a tube would, and especially like you said, you mentioned the golf course. A lot of times you see a lot of people grab cigars for the golf course or something like that. They're grabbing the cigars. Maybe they're going on a camping trip. Let me grab some cigars for me and the buddies. We'll have it around the campfire. So you don't have to worry about the cigar being as exposed. They're going to stay a lot more conditioned and fresh and protected in those baggies, even better than a tubo. So I think it's a nice trend, and I think it is working.
And to add to what you're saying, man, the tubos, they're hard to get. They're gotten very, very expensive.
Yeah.
We were on back order on the tubos for the Royal Challenge that I had. Me personally had like 500 boxes on back order for my personal 5 accounts that I deal with. And we finally got them. And it had been 8 months before, we get them from Spain because China's not going to make them. Then you go to Spain and then it gets expensive. It gets crazy. And what's up with the bags as well is we sell to the cruise lines, man. The cruise lines are digging that because the cruise is 7 days, right? 5 days, 7-day cruises, 4 days. They grab that pack. I mean, they're charging you guys a little bit more than the retail, but I mean, they go back to Ohio, they go back to Boston, PA, Mass, wherever, and they go, hey, where can I find? Do you have this cigar? Do you carry it? I love seeing that. That's one of the things that we love.
Miami International,
Miami International,
right
same thing.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's true, and especially you mentioned that that it's more cost effective, it's more available. So it's definitely another change that we've seen in the last couple of years to the industry as a whole. But you guys have executed it very well as well. So congrats on that, and those cigars are great. We are getting towards the end of the show here, so we're going to wrap up the show. You guys stay here with me until we're off the air, but I just want to thank you again for being on the show with us. Thank you for sharing your new products with us. That was really special to have and to see, and we're so excited to try those cigars. Like I said, the Ghost line, especially the Ghost Gold, is one of my favorites, especially from Gurkha, so I can't wait to try that with the Connecticut wrapper. And as always, thank you for all of our listeners and our viewers for being here with us. And if you're listening later or you're watching later, thank you for being with us. But always don't forget to like and subscribe. And head over to smokintabacco.com for more news and updates on everything in the cigar industry and everything that we do. Our Cigar Family Charitable Fundraiser is coming up in a couple of months, so stay tuned for updates on that. I'm not going to say anything else about it just because we're not ready to, but we'll have some developments. We'll have some developments soon. But yeah, Bianca, Juan, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Anything else you guys wanted to say or plug on the show before we leave? The show is yours.
Thanks for having us. Congrats again, you and Nicole.
Thank you.
I'm 2 for 2 for boys. So her cousin did a reveal they had a boy. I was pushing for the boy. One of my best buddies revealed had a boy. Coming from the guy with 3 daughters, so I'm gonna push for the boy for you. But as
That's
long
what
as
we really want, but
well,
either way.
so did I. So did I. So did I. But you know what? Listen.
Happy
Women,
and healthy.
happy and healthy. That's what matters. You and I talked about that earlier today.
Yeah.
Women is healthy, and listen, man, girls are amazing. They're women are way smarter than we are, man. We know that.
Yeah.
And they make their beds.
It's funny. It's funny. It's so funny. Because we were talking about this a little bit earlier, and I said to Bianca, I'm like, so I mean, you're really like you're the strong woman behind the man. I mean, Bianca, you have one of the toughest jobs because in addition to everything you do for work, I mean, you're the one that's responsible for, just Juan Lopez and everything that means. So. Yeah, I know. That's how you do it.
Lots and lots and lots.
So kudos to you, and good luck with the marriage, and hopefully everything still continues to be smooth sailing after that day. But no, but congratulations to you guys as well. On a personal note, I know your wedding's coming up, and I'm excited for you guys as well. So, we'll see you at TPE, and we'll get a first-hand look in person at some of your new products. But with that, sorry, I'm losing my vocal ability today. It's been a long day. But with that, thank you everyone for watching and listening to the show, and we will see you next week. Take care, everybody.